Hi, Shep Hyken here, excited for another look backstage with another all-access pass to the 50-year history of contemporary productions. Now, St. Louis has a lot of icons like you, Steve Shankman, but they also have rock and roll icons like Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry's from St. Louis. I bet you have some great stories about working with Chuck.
Well, Charles was how I referred to him, Charles Berry, or Mr. Berry.
Yes.
The first time I met Charles Berry was he was playing at Olivet Shopping Center. It was just a concert outside right there off of Olive Street Road. And I never thought I'd be booking him because that was probably in the 60s. But in 1972, I got a call from a new school that just opened, Parkway West High School. I think they're celebrating their 50 year as well. And they wanted to book a band for just a concert. And I said, well, what do you think about Chuck Berry? This was in 1972. I believe it was on April the 7th of 1972. We had 3,000 people. I think the tickets back then were like $5. And Chuck Berry was the star of that show.
At a high school.
At a high school,
Unbelievable.
Yeah. In their gym, I believe, yeah. But I got other stories. I mean, one of my favorites is when he played the fair. So back in 1984, I booked him at the fair because I booked all the shows for 25 years there. And I told him, you know, I said, I'd be happy to pick you up either in Clayton or at Blueberry Hill or where you live, or I can go out to Berry Park. I'll call Fran Gillum, was the person that worked with him. Whatever you want, we could set up. He said, Steve, don't worry about it. I'll get there. Well, here we are about an hour before showtime, and most of the acts are behind stage 2 hours before because of the large crowds. And I get a call from one of the agents there, you know, the federal agents working the grounds. He says,
"This is the VP Fair."
Yeah, at the VP Fair, right? I think it was VP Fair in '84. And so anyway, this ranger, he says, Mr. Shankman, we have somebody in a 40-foot mobile home that says he says he's Chuck Berry, and he wants to drive up on the curb of Memorial. I said, wait a second. He's in a motor home? He says, yeah, about a 40-footer. I said, listen, we're an hour out from the show starting. Escort him on. And sure enough, he pulls backstage. Chuck's driving the motor home. He opens the back door, and all of his neighbors, must have been 40 people, get out the back. He's up on stage and able to play in time for the show to go. But I mean, what a way to surprise me. The last show I did with Chuck was when the DNC was thinking about the Democratic National Convention coming to St. Louis, so we were asked to put on a show at Keener Plaza. So I felt, well, we'll get Nellie for younger people and Charles because of being the icon all around the world. So we did the show. The problem with that show was it had all these people from the White House, the Democratic National Convention, the Mayor Slay back then. And the problem I had was Nellie wouldn't change the words, and Chuck, he couldn't remember the words. Other than that, we didn't get the convention, but we had a great concert that night.
Wow, that's a lot of fun. Great story, great story. So come back next week for another all-access look into the history of contemporary productions.